Good morning guys, 6 AM, early start. Let's get a few jobs ticked off on the van. Now, they can't all fit into one subject really, so it's going to be an update video. So we're going to fit all the stuff that we retrimmed, all the parts. We're going to install the ceiling that I varnished and painted in between the grooves. I'm going to wire up the spotlights that are in the ceiling, and also probably fit some of the stuff that I've painted, so cabinet doors, worktop, bench seats, and probably a few of the other little things like door rubbers, door catches, things I took off in order to do the retrimming on the actual van. I can't think of anything else now. Yeah, I think that's about it. So let's get started. So it's best to get it started just by pushing it on, and then just get a rubber mallet. Tap it on.
Give it a little tappy.
Obviously don't be flipping cracking it one, because yeah, you only need to tap it. And just be careful that you've definitely got it, that both sides of the rubber overlapping the metal. Because if you've got it going over it and then you start whacking it one, then you can damage the metal that's inside the rubber, and yeah, you've buggered it then. And if you find that you've got a gap by there, or you've got too much, it won't fit in because they're like overlapping each other, then just pull it back off again. And yeah, if you've got a gap, then you just need to pull it down as you're going, and then it'll stretch it a bit. If you've got too much, then push it that way and it'll compress, and then yeah, you should be able to get it back how it was again by doing it that way. We've got the catch back on as well, so the way to do that is just to put the bolts in and have it loose. Shut the door on it and get the catch that's on the door to just go in, and then shut it. Give it a foot, don't be slamming it. Gently push it in.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
And then slam it like that. Then that is like set where the catch has got to go. Tighten the bolts up, and then you can open the door again. Just double check that it shuts, and that should be good to go. And exactly the same process for the sliding door rubber. Now that I've trimmed them, obviously it's covered where the screw holes are. So what I'm going to do is I've just got a little needly thing there. Poke it through from underneath, because I've left the screw holes visible on the back. And then I can mark it with a marker pen on this side. So hopefully that should work. So here we have a closer look, and I think this stuff looks much better than the four-way stretch stuff, in my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. And obviously there's many other fabrics you could put on there as well. Put whatever you want on it. So before we can take a look at what all my hard work of painting and trimming with fabric is going to look like with everything back in, or most of it anyway, I can't put the ceiling in yet until I do the wiring. So what I'm thinking is we'll just do a little part of the electric system for now. We'll get the spotlights not wired up, but we'll lay the wiring for them and then just have the wires dangling down to be able to connect to the power supply in the future. Because once this is up now, I don't want to have to be taking it down again. Now, I haven't got a clue about wiring. I know how to wire a plug up and a battery up, but that's about it. I panic a bit when it comes to wiring, but I bought this book here. Really good. There's a few other ones out there as well. Explains everything you need to know about building a camper van. And I bought this to help me out with some certain things. And obviously they've got a few pages on wiring there. So I'm going to be wiring these up in parallel, because that's what you're meant to do apparently. Using one of their little graphs inside, you need to work out the size of your wiring so you don't get voltage drop. So I used some string to map out where the wires are going and then measured the string, so then I could order the cable. It was somewhere in between 2mm and 2.5mm, I think, that was suitable. Obviously it's smaller than that on the spots, but went for the 2.5. So now I just got to wire these up. And what I'm using, these things here, which are called Wago connectors. And you just put the cable in and click that down and it's joined. So now I just need to connect them up and have a few cables in between that I've got out of my reel there. Obviously I got the two ceiling boards right next to each other to replicate how they would be in the van, so I don't have any wires too short or too long or whatever. I need to bare the ends a bit more on the spotlight wires, and obviously whatever I cut out of this I need to bare the ends for that as well. I'm pretty sure I've connected them up right, so let's just double check. I didn't bother using the wire I bought to connect them up from spotlight to spotlight. Just used that to connect the last one up to my power source. I didn't really see the point of chopping little pieces of that up to join them so that they'd reach each other. So I had this stuff left over, and I'm pretty sure it's 0.5 of a mil larger than the actual wires that's on the spotlights. It looked a little bit bigger anyway. So here we go. We got negative from, this is the last spotlights, we got negative for that going into a connector to make it longer, and then we've got it going into this one, and we got the negative from that light going into it, and then another joining wire going into this block with the negative from that wire going into it, and then another wire going into that connector with the negative from that spotlight there, and then the negative larger cable which is there. What I'm gonna do now before I go home for the night is to just make this a little bit tidier and stuff. So what I'm thinking is to just put a dab of sealer on the backs of all these blocks and glue them in place so that they're not all falling all over the place, so it's nice and neat and tidy. If I had a thicker ceiling, I would have used some brackets and stuff to hold the wires in, but it's only 9mm, so the screws are probably going to go through the other side. The sealer that I put on last night has gone off nicely, and all these Wago connectors are now securely stuck to the board. What I think I might do just before these go up into the van, I might put some masking tape on the cables to stop them just making noise and rattling around. I mean, they're not going anywhere, but I don't want to find out that they're making noises once the van's moving and all the ceiling's up and stuff. One more thing I've done before the ceiling goes up, I've put some more wool insulation because there was quite a lot of void space in between where the ceiling mounts and the roof of the van. So I've used that to my advantage and stuck some more wool in there because I had loads left over. I've probably got enough to do another van actually. I tried using spray glue first of all to stick it up, and that wasn't happening. It just started peeling itself apart. So what I've done is just ripped off some 2-inch tape and provided supports for it to hold into. So it isn't pretty.
You can say that again, pal.
But it does the job. I can't think of a better way of putting it in there. Unless you add some kind of nets, but that's a whole load of work just for this, when tape does the job. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos and this is the first video you're watching, I have already insulated the roof before the wool. It's got that closed cell foam, silver foil backed stuff on there. That is all covered on the roof, and then sound deadening behind that as well. Now that we've done that, we just need to put them back in the van.
Lips and funky beat, you better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around, can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride.
First board is in, and I've actually done the end board as well. So all that's left is the middle board, but as you've seen on the trestles, we got the main power cables going to the spotlights, and I didn't want them rattling around on this middle board. So what I've done is put a P-clip there into the frame of the van, and then I put another one there on the side of my ceiling button, and then they're just falling down there now. But this is where the shelf goes, so they're directly above the shelf, and then they can run down that pillar there behind the shelf. I'm probably going to have a switch on the shelf somewhere, so they'll be going to that. Really hard to see here, but before we can put the middle board up as well, the wires for the last two spotlights, or rather the last and the first, we need to connect into these Wago connectors that are by here. So I've left the clips up on the wires where they gotta go in, and I've marked it out on that one there is positive and negative, and then this side I've left the connectors up as well, but I can clearly see which is positive and negative because we got the big cables coming in and out of them. So just need to hold the ceiling panel in place, connect the wires in, flip the clips down, and then the ceiling panel can go up, and then this side of this board can be tightened up as well. For something that was meant to only take me hour at the most to put up 3 ceiling boards, I've been at it, well, probably like 6 hours. Absolute nightmare. So the riv nuts, if you watched the ceiling video that I done, I held the ceiling panels up with riv nuts and then M5 button head Allen key bolts. And I think halfway through that video I ran out of M5 riv nuts and I had to nick a few off my mate, and I can't remember whose riv nuts were absolute crap, whether they were mine or his. There was, where can I find one now? Like, that's the remains of it. There's hardly any outer flange on it to grip into the metal. So as soon as you put a bolt in it, it starts spinning. Even though you've drilled the hole to the right size, no matter what happened, it started spinning. And then obviously you can't get the bolt back out because it's just making the riv nut spin. And yeah, loads of that happened. So in the end I had to pull them all out by drilling and grinding and wrenching, and replace them all with M6 ones then that I had plenty of. 13 riv nuts from M5 to M6, and then bugger about with trying to put the ceiling boards up on my own with one hand. I didn't have any tidy M6 button head bolts then, so I've just raided my spare pot of bolts and nuts and stuff. So they're all odd at the moment, so I'm gonna have to take them out one by one, and when I buy a pack of tidy ones and replace them. Cut my head open in the process as well, but it's up now. So all 3 boards are up. Now I just gotta put the side panels on. So I'll do them in the same process as I did the window sills, because obviously they've been trimmed with fabric, so I can't see where the screw holes are now. So I'll poke a needle through to find where they are, mark them out with a pen, and then I should be able to screw them up. And they're in! I'm not going to put the shelf in yet, so that's why that gap is there. I'm not putting it in because, well, I need to run wiring and stuff. And it's going to go behind it. So there's the other panel, and there's these 2. Couple of small issues. Like I said, I thought it might not cover that up there, so I need to put another little piece of cloth in there. Obviously I have to take that back down, but I put it up just to show you guys. And this side is just a tiny bit not covering, so I'll do the same on that side, and I'll do it the same size. So now that we got the lights in with some wires, and we got the battery that we use to power up the front seats, we can potentially get them lit up. So let's have a bash of this. Yeah, boy! Hallelujah! Happy with that? I'll probably have them on some kind of dimmer, probably on the shelf, on the bedside somewhere, so that you can control it from when you're in bed. And I might have like a double switch, I forget what they're called, so like when you have a switch at the top of your landing and at the bottom of the stairs. So I might have one switch so it's close to where you're sleeping in bed, so you don't have to actually get up too much, and then one around here somewhere for when you open the sliding door. So what do we think then? Apart from the 2 little bits at the back end there that I gotta redo, or not redo but add to, all the cloth trimming is done. I'm gonna start that again because you could hardly see anything in here, and that's been like the case for a lot of my videos because it's been dark. But now I got light, so what do we think of the carpet in the van now that I've done it all? And you can actually see it now. So there's the pods and the windowsills. We got a bit on the pillar there. We got the ceiling panels. The ceiling is now in with the varnish and the black paint, giving the illusion of multiple different panels, like the shadow gap, slatted ceilings. We got the cabinets in, and I put all the handles, the push buttony things, they're back in. Got the table rail on. We got the worktop in, all nice and fitted around the carpeted B and C pillars. Obviously I've left that bit of paintwork showing there because the shelf covers it. And then yeah, side panels up there, and then the driver's side pod and windowsill, and the rear upper panel. Don't get me wrong, there's mistakes here and there, there's imperfections, and there's many areas that I can improve on, but you don't expect to do your first van absolute perfection. So I think this is a good attempt so far, and we can learn from this one, and then hopefully the next van then I can rectify my mistakes and make that one even better then, with a whole load of new mistakes. A few bits left to put in though, so we can't put the drawers in yet because they'll be in the way of doing the floor. So that's probably going to be the next video, or one of the next. Once the floor's in, then I can put the drawers back in. I probably won't put the bed slats in though until all the wiring's done, because I'll probably have to route some wiring down the back of these boards and stuff, and if the bed is in, then, well, I don't fancy climbing in here again. Once that's done, then everything can go back in. Probably have a ton of touch-ups to do. I just thought of this now actually, sitting here looking at it. I've done all this retrimming, and the only bits of the blue van that is now showing, obviously there's some bits on the front doors, but that doesn't matter because that's in the cab area. But we got these two bits on the rear doors. Obviously you only see from there upwards when the doors are shut, because all this is in the way. And there's quite a bit on the side door. And I'm not sure whether this blue goes with black. So I know a lot of people with this kind of size van retrim their metal doors, but that's normally with a four-way stretch. So yeah, that could be interesting with this tweed, but I'm thinking it would look a lot better when the doors are shut to have that tweed. Even if it's just on the top half, I don't have to do it on the bottom. I can do that foldy over thing and create like a seam there and just have it on the top. I think it'll look better, and plus, especially if you're in bed and if you're somewhere cold and you rest your arm on that, then that's going to be quite cold to touch. So yeah, I might do that in a video, or I might just go, hey, look what I've done. We'll come to that. I'll have to order some more cloth. I've run out again, I think. That's it. Hope you liked the video. Hope you're liking the van, what it's looking like now. It's come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of weeks. If you are, click on the like button. If I've helped you out in any way, there's a link in the description to buy me coffee. Links in the description as well for the tweed fabric and anything else I can think of. That's about it. Click on the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.